Should start streaming. Sorry.
Refresh it. Okay.
Right, good evening everyone, and welcome to our first ever virtual parents information evening for parents of new students coming into our Year 7 in September. So I'm joined this evening by Miss Mahmood and Mr. Davis. So here's Miss Mahmood and Mr. Davis, and Mr. Davis is going to start us off this evening.
Presentation.
We're just going to call up our presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bates. So good evening and welcome to our first ever virtual primary transfer evening for students transferring to Lampton in September 2020. It was good to meet so many of you face to face at our social distance interviews which we had a couple of weeks ago. The main purpose of this evening's event is to welcome you to the Lampton school community. What I'm going to talk to you about this evening you can see on the slides. I'm going to talk to you about our values and our vision, what we stand for as a school community. I'm also going to talk to you about how we teach and how we learn at Lampton, what we call our signature pedagogy. Talking about our behaviour, being ready, respectful and safe. Our behaviour is based on a consistent and fair approach, based on high standards of discipline. And finally, I'm going to talk about how you can support our school over the journey that your child will have with us, whether that's 5 or 7 years. It's essential that students make a good start, even in these unusual times of lockdown. So our values and our vision. What does Lampton School stand for? Many of you may remember this from the presentation which I gave at the open evening back in the autumn of 2019. Our first value is excellence. We want to achieve the very best and aim for the highest standards, whether that's inside the classroom or outside. Equality. Lampton is a large and very diverse school, and we work hard to ensure that every member of our community has the equal chance to achieve their potential. Ms. Mahmood will touch on this later as well, the importance of celebration and praise in everything that we do within our school. Linking to our behaviour, the importance of respect, treating all members of our school community with care and consideration. Thinking about how we behave, how we speak, the language we use, the way we move around the school, the way we move around the classroom, and how we represent our community on our journey to and from school. Our next value is that of resilience, and that is something which has been tested significantly during this lockdown period. And it's how we can try to be even better at everything we do and to make a difference and overcome all our challenges. Integrity, aiming to act in the correct way at all times. Again, a very important part of our behaviour policy, as we want to instill in our students the value of self-discipline, self-regulation and self-respect. And finally, collaboration, working together, whether that's working together in classrooms, across the whole school, or staff working collaboratively across the community of schools in Hounslow and in London to improve our practice. Our top 3 values we believe at Lampton are excellence, respect and integrity. Combined, our values form the basis of our vision statement. And our vision statement is a statement that outlines how we want our school community to be. We want to have a school where we are providing outstanding learning, whether that's inside the classroom or outside the classroom through enrichment and extracurricular activities as well. We don't want to cap achievement. We want our students to have unlimited opportunities to achieve their very best. Our teaching, we want to be inspirational, but teaching that also supports all our learners, no matter what their ability is. We want our school to be a safe, harmonious environment where everyone is valued and respected. And we want to celebrate and take pride in our work as individuals, as a school, and as a community. Lampton is very much a school at the heart of the local community in Hounslow. So how will your child be taught at Lampton? For me as the head teacher, it's very important for me to know that there is consistency across all the subjects and all the lessons, and that all the students are having a consistently high standard of teaching and learning. A way to support this is through what we call the Lampton 7. And the Lampton 7, as it says on the slide, is a toolkit of teaching and learning approaches which teachers use from year 7 right the way through to year 13 to ensure that students make maximum progress. So for example, elements of the Lampton 7 include a quick start to lessons, so no time is wasted, a do-no activity, targeted questioning, monitoring of students' progress in the classroom, challenge to make sure every student is stretched in every lesson, support to enable students to rise to that challenge, and reflection, so students are equipped to reflect on what they have learned, but also how they have learned. In this period of lockdown, we've undertaken a great deal of training for staff to ensure that the Lampton 7 is inculcated in the online learning programme and is part of the day-to-day learning experience, whether students are in school or operating online. And our behaviour. Our rules at Lampton are very simple. We expect students to be ready, to be respectful, and to be safe. To be ready to learn, to be equipped, to be correctly dressed, to show that they have pride in our school community. To be respectful in the way they treat each other, the way they behave, their language, and that they are courteous and show good manners to all members of our community. And finally, safety. Physical safety, but also psychological safety, so students feel safe within school. But also students feel safe and are respectful on their way to and from school and online. But you'll be hearing more about this and our expectations when your child joins us fully in September. So finally, from me, how you can support our school. It costs us £50,000 per day to run the school, even if the school is in lockdown. We do not receive enough money from the government to do this, and many families at Lampton make a donation to help us with our fundraising. We will be setting up a direct debit and a gift aid form on the website, and we will direct this to you at a later date. But we don't just use the money for the day-to-day running of the school, we use it for specific projects. And currently, a very large project which we're undertaking is the construction of our new dining room. We received a grant of £2 million from the government, but to fit out the interior, the school council is working with the school to design the layout. And money which is raised from parental donations will be used to contribute to wall art, to furniture, and to other equipment. So finally from me, just to restate the welcome to our Lampton school community, and I look forward to working in partnership over the coming years for the success of your child. All of our work is underpinned by these three core values of excellence, respect, and integrity. I'm now going to hand over to Miss Mahmood, and also you're going to have the opportunity now to watch some short videos from current Year 7 students talking about their experience at Lampton. Thank you.
Thank you. So welcome everybody. So glad to see so many of you have joined us this evening. As Mr. Davis said, before I talk to you, we're going to hear from two of our current students with some advice and some guidance for your child before they start Lampton.
Hello Year 7s and welcome to Lampton School. I am Becky and I'm a Year 7 going to be Year 8. I'd love to give you some advice about joining Lampton School. Don't worry about making any new friends, because I'm sure you'll make plenty. Just remember, you're not the only one who's new here, everyone is. I know from experience there's no easy way out. You should always try to challenge yourself in order to achieve your goals. Success is not a mistake, and you will succeed as long as you have the right attitude towards your learning. I know it may be difficult at times to go to different classes at certain times, but I'm sure you will start to love this school. We have amazing supportive teachers to help you along the way. Finally, be yourself. I'm sure you'll be a great member of our Lampton community.
Hi, I heard you're newly joining Lampton. My name is Ajay. I'm currently 7R. My form tutor is Miss Ford. You've been accepted into our community to continue your education for the next 6 years here at Lampton. My head of year, Mr. Dyson, his favourite 3 words are attitude is everything. Mr. Dyson has been a big part of my journey so far. From the first day we started, he was very reassuring. He made sure we were all comfortable and able to come to him about anything. When I first began, it was such a nerve-wracking experience. It was so overwhelming to go from a small school to such a large school. Miss Ford made me feel so welcomed. I'm so grateful to have a tutor so supportive. My overall experiences had ups and downs. Just like with anything, it is a bit of a bumpy road, but you'll fit in just fine. You'll be supported through your journey. You'll find that there is a variety of activities and sports. It helps in making friends. The food choices here in Lampton are amazing. Personally, my favourite is a jerk chicken. I hope your experience here is very good. Ajay Taco, 7R.
Okay, so once again, good evening. Having met so many of you during our Get to Know You interviews, I know that we have a fantastic year group coming to Lampton this year. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about what our goals and expectations will be as a year group and outline some advice about how to prepare for secondary school. But first, let's take a minute to acknowledge the context in which we will be starting this journey. The past few months have certainly brought their challenges, but as we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, let's also acknowledge the opportunities it has brought. Together, we have faced global pandemics, both in terms of health and social injustice, and on a personal level, many of us have found the restrictions of lockdown difficult, socially, emotionally, and financially. However, I think it's important for our students to reflect on what they may have gained during lockdown and consider how this opportunity for growth and reflection will have helped them prepare for the next stage of their lives. We've had an opportunity to learn new skills, and many of you have told me that you've been cooking, learning an instrument or language, and been supporting your families around the house. This reflection and development is something that we will continue to work on during your child's time at Lampton. In fact, reflection and development will be the core focus of our year group. Your child will become very familiar with our year group motto, Be Kind, Aim High, over the next few months and years, as this is the aspiration I have for every single one of them. At Lampton, we want students who are supportive, compassionate, and kind to themselves and others. Students who will become active citizens and work hard to support their communities. Additionally, we want our students to aim high in all of their achievements, whether this be work produced in lessons, homework, sporting achievement, artistic performance, creative design, or any other aspirations they may have. At Lampton, you'll receive plenty of support, guidance, and reassurance. So it is my expectation that this translates into always giving your best effort and aiming for the highest achievement that you are capable of. I recognise that this is not an easy thing to ask for. Always doing the right thing can be difficult, and aiming for the top can be intimidating. But if we break down what this looks like at school, it's definitely something we are all capable of. We expect to see students who treat everyone with respect, regardless of their background or identity, and challenge and report any unkindness that they see. We want students who don't give up when things are difficult, but who understand that this is part of the learning process and that they will get there if they keep trying. We want students who are organised and ensure that they are punctual to lessons and complete classwork and homework on time. All of these practices will support your child in achieving their best, which is ultimately what we all want. There will be a wide range of staff at Lampton to support your child achieve their success, and their form tutor will be one of the most significant supporting roles. We'll have 8 form groups this year with a team of enthusiastic form tutors who can't wait to meet their new tutees. We'll be putting forms together in the next week, and on the evening of Wednesday the 15th of July, we'll be doing a live Google Meet session in which we'll be announcing the form groups. We invite you and your child to attend this virtual meeting to find out who their new form tutor will be. You'll receive an email with further details about this in the next few days. So to end, we have a few tips for students and families in terms of preparing for their time at Lampton. For students, I strongly recommend doing lots of reading over the summer to keep boosting that vocabulary and imagination. Lots of you are keen readers, which is fantastic, so please do keep that up. Use the summer to research things you are interested in, whether that's reading, watching documentaries, or asking questions to your families. We want you to love learning, so whatever interests you, pursue it. Even in these strange half-lockdown measures, try to stay healthy and active by doing regular exercise and eating well. And finally, get to know who is coming to Lampton and don't be shy to make friends. Everyone is a bit nervous about meeting new people, but I promise you're all going to be fine. For families, I strongly urge you to support your children with the advice on the previous slide. Additionally, there are some practical tips for preparing for secondary school. Please ensure that your child has the appropriate equipment and uniform before starting at Lampton, and all information about this can be found on our website. We will also be sending out information about parent pay in the next few weeks, which is the cashless system that we use to pay for food, trips and other opportunities. If you would like literacy and numeracy resources to practice with over the summer, please check the Google Classroom, which everyone has been invited to, as I'll be posting resources on there. We'll shortly be answering any questions that we have had sent in, but if you have any further questions, please do read through the Parent Carer Guide which was sent to you last week. Alternatively, you can check the updates website on the Lampton Primary Transition website, as I'm updating this weekly with information regarding how and when we'll be starting school in the autumn. If you still cannot find the information you need, please feel free to email me via the email at the bottom of the slide. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to welcoming you all to Lampton. I'm going to hand over now to Mr. Bates, who will talk to you a bit more about starting school in September.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Mahmood. Okay, so my name is Mr. Bates. I'm the Deputy Head Teacher. I know that parents have lots of questions around what's going to happen in September this year. So I can confirm that our first day of school for Year 7 students will be on Friday the 4th of September. Now that will be quite a special day because only Year 7 students will be on site. So that will serve as a transition day to help students get to know the school site and how it operates without any other students around as well. So from that Friday, a full timetable will come into operation. So with all the different subjects that you're going to be studying for the next 5 years. Obviously, this is a very unusual time. The school's been in effect in lockdown since March of this year, and most of our students have been educated from home. So I do want to reassure parents and carers that we do have a full risk assessment in place. And as a result of that, we've taken many protective measures to make sure that we minimise the chance of any infection spreading, such as the site being deep cleaned and having hand sanitizer stations in every classroom. We're also currently assessing our plans so that Year 7s will be kept separate from other year groups at all times through the school days. Now, this is a very significant undertaking because this is not something that we would normally endeavour to do. And we'll be giving parents and carers more information through the weekly updates that Ms. Mahmood sends out. We've also had some questions about what would happen in the event of a further lockdown. Now, we do have some experience of this because back in March we had to transfer very quickly from being a school where face-to-face teaching was the norm to being a school where all classrooms operated virtually. And the way we've done this is use our virtual learning environment, Google Classroom. And I understand that everyone's had their details sent out to them, so they can now get online with Google Classroom and start some transition activities. So if we were to go into a further lockdown, students would follow the usual timetable. It'd be very important to get up at your usual time, and then, for example, if you have maths period 1, log on to your maths classroom to find out your lesson activities and instructions from your teacher for that day. Sometimes that will take the form of a live lesson. Other times that will be a recorded video from your teacher. Other times they'll be setting activities, possibly using other websites as well. So it is important that if there are any problems with accessing IT at home, please do let Miss Mahmood know, because we've lent out a lot of IT equipment to make sure that our students all our students can fully engage with our curriculum even during lockdown. A final thing from me is to really encourage you to keep in touch. So for students, that's through Google Classroom. And I've seen there's been a question about the class code that you need for Year 7. So we'll put that on the comments at the end of this. For parents and carers, you can keep fully abreast of what's going on in school by following us on Twitter at Lampton SCH. And through our website. So we've been sending out a link each week, each Monday, to our weekly updates. Please do continue to check those as well. Just one thing it's always really important that your contact details that we store are up to date. So if your email or mobile phone numbers happen to change, please do contact the school to let us know. So with that said, we're going to move on to the questions. So let's close down this presentation and we're going to go back to the camera. Okay, I'm going to transfer over to our questions. So we have a question here. First question, are you going to send the curriculum during the summer break? First thing to say about curriculum is that we do have the curriculum fully mapped out on the website. So I'm just going to demonstrate how to actually access this. So if you go to Lampton and then go to Students, Curriculum, and if you then click, we've got an overview statement about the curriculum in different key stages, but here we have the subject pages, and here you're going to see all the different options for all the different subjects. So for example, computing, so it's mapped out by year group here. But the one thing to note is that this may be subject to change, just depending on what we're going to call the recovery curriculum, as we take into consideration what students may have missed out on during the last few months while students have been absent from primary school. So although that's very much our intention to follow the set curriculum, we will very much be taking that into account. I don't know if Ms. Mahmood also wants to say something about some of the transition activities.
Yeah. So like Mr. Bates said, we're going to be doing a lot of work on what we're calling the recovery curriculum. So both in terms of academic and pastoral studies, we'll be running a transition unit for our students as part of their tutor program that they'll be doing either virtually or in school, depending on our plans. And we'll be uploading more information about the curriculum on the Google Classroom once we've got further information about what subject-specific strategies are going to be, particularly for Year 7, when we come to September.
Okay. Any other questions? Indeed. Right, so we have got another question. So is there any assessment going to take place in the beginning of school in September? And yes, indeed, there will be. We have something called the CAT test, which is the cognitive aptitude test. So it's really testing a range of knowledge and skills so that we can get the most accurate and up-to-date understanding of where exactly students are at in terms of their subject skills. So this will be held, we expect, in the first 3 weeks of the new term, and this will really then allow our teachers to push students to the fullest of their cognitive abilities. Okay, let's just have a review for any further questions. So when will we find out what class we're in? So I know that's a very big issue for lots of students. Going to hand over to Miss Mahmood.
Okay, so on Wednesday the 15th of July at 5 p.m, we'll be hosting a live Google Meet on our Year 7 Google page with me and all your form tutors, and we will announce each form one by one. So you'll have an opportunity to meet your form tutor. They'll invite you to then your own form tutor page, and they'll also be inviting you in the following days to have a Google Meet with your form tutor and your new form so that you can get to know each other a little bit before the summer holidays. So Wednesday the 15th at 5 p.m, make sure that you're on Google. If you haven't logged into our Google Classroom already, please do. And if there are any problems with logging in, then just email me and I can send you your login details. We want as many people there as possible.
Okay, thank you. So we've got another question. So are there any plans to fit all the information that children missed due to lockdown? Yes, absolutely. We're currently asking our subject leaders to review their curriculum plans for this year, just to make sure that they do very much take into account any learning lost for example, Year 6 students going into Year 7, to make sure that those essential skills are covered. I'm just going to look for any more questions. Okay, and I think that's it in terms of questions. So thank you very much for tuning in this evening. As I said right at the start, it's our very first virtual event, but we do look forward to welcoming everyone in person in September and to meeting with new parents and carers as well. So we'll look forward to welcoming back students to our Google Meet on next Wednesday.
Wednesday the 15th.
Wednesday 15th, and that's when you'll find out which form groups that you're going into. So thank you again for joining us, and see everyone soon.